we're gonna go a little old school here and do some gecko cleaning live. Um, so yeah, we'll get started. I'll talk a little bit about my trip to AnimalCon. This is the vintage shirt. This is last year's shirt. But yeah, I'll talk about that as I'm cleaning, and hopefully some people like jump on here and see that I'm actually on. But seeing that I, haven't done YouTube in like 12 years, pretty much, we'll see if anybody gets any notifications. So there we go. There's one. Noble family. All right. Surfside's here. Awesome. Might try to make this like a... Hey, what's up, Greg? Might make this like a daily thing while I'm cleaning. Just to try to get my algorithm up so that I can actually make YouTube videos again. Because doing the AnimalCon thing was pretty cool, and it was one of those things where, yeah, I probably should start doing YouTube again. Hey, what's up, man? I'm going to turn that light off, though. Still should be pretty good. Oh, yeah, the lighting's still good. All right. All right, so I'm going to go through and just clean geckos, show you some cool ones. The lighting should be pretty good because it's kind of shaded. So yeah, let's go through and do some gecko cleaning. The cats are probably going to be running around. So yeah, there's that. This one is actually like super cool. Look at this shit. That's pretty awesome. All right, so let's get to it. So while the vacuum's not running, I'll talk a little bit about AnimalCon and like how it was and stuff like that. And hopefully you guys won't see me break down on camera, because we'll get into that part later. But AnimalCon, if you guys don't know, is this was the second year that it actually happened. Sorry, I'm like missing some of the hold on one second here. Let me not cover my face. All right, yeah, definitely tune in daily. Yes, AnimalCon was cool. It was cool to definitely be able to, like, around some of the creators and stuff like that. Show you this guy one more time because he's awesome. Whee! Very cool to be around a lot of the creators that most of you already know. And I got to meet some like other creators that are like new and upcoming, which was kind of cool. Some of them are like really young and have a lot of following, so that's pretty awesome as well. Sorry, I don't want to have to compete with the vacuum. So yeah, I basically went up on Thursday of last week. First of all, let's start at kind of the beginning here. On I think it was Monday of last week, my friend Peter from Australia was coming over to Ty Park's place. So I was like, oh, I should go hang out with Peter because I haven't seen him in a while. And we hung out at Ty Park's place on Monday. And had a great time there. If you haven't ever been to Iguanaland, you guys should go. It's pretty awesome. Here is the aberrant fuscus. It's pretty cool. But if you haven't never been to Iguanaland, super awesome place. It's very, very large. Lots of turtles and tortoises. So that's really cool. So me and Peter hung out there most of the day, and then I invited Peter and his friend Steve that he was traveling with, and Ty to come over to my place, see the animals, and then we went and had dinner, and then went to Dave Palumbo's place, which he actually lives like 15 minutes from me. I didn't even know that. So I'll have to reach out to Dave and, you know, hang out with him more often. If you don't know Dave Palumbo, there's a adult male foosgoose. Pretty cool. If you don't know Dave Palumbo, he used to be a world-renowned bodybuilder. I mean, he's still a world-renowned bodybuilder. He just doesn't compete anymore. And now he's into reptiles, so he's got pretty good sized collection of snakes. He mainly does boas and pythons, but then he has some like cool stuff like he's got like a pair of bolins. He's got some he's got some Amazon tree boas and some green tree pythons as well, and then some other like obscure species of python, which is really cool. And then he also has like a pair of albino sulcatas, which is pretty awesome. So that was really cool. Then, you know, had to work on the animals on Tuesday, Wednesday, got all that stuff taken care of. And then Thursday, headed up towards Orlando, which for me it's about 3 hours. So it's a little bit of a hike. But, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. I kind of drive a lot anyway, so. And then went to, sorry, my nose is itchy, guys. Got a cat hair in it, I think. Went to Ron St. Pierre's house, which if you don't know who Ron St. Pierre is, you should look him up. It's a cool little Black Knight cross. It's pretty dark. Ron St. Pierre is one of those guys that's like kind of under the radar. He's not like super huge on social media, but one of the absolute legends of herpetoculture. So it was great to go to his place and hang out and see his collection. The other cool part about Ron St. Pierre's place is literally like he keeps everything outside, which is awesome. So basically he creates microenvironments in his yard so that he can keep different species there, which is pretty awesome. So that was pretty inspiring to see. And you know, definitely Ron's a great guy. I recently just met him. And he's been nothing but amazing to me. So like I really appreciate it. Here's a cool Tremper albino joker. Pretty awesome. Also while I was there, met back up with Peter from Australia. And then we all kind of like went towards the AnimalCon hotel together. Trying to get the hair out of my nose. Don't know why. Oh no! Literally just dumped all the vitamin powder into dumped all the vitamin powder in there. Hold on a minute. I don't know why the freak my nose is so itchy. Alright, hopefully that's better. Sometimes I get like a slight allergy to my cats, so that's probably what that is. But anyway, hopefully that fixed things. Alright, so then got back to the hotel on Thursday night and hung out with some people. This one's pretty cool too. It's also from the Black Knight Joker project. And then Friday, we woke up and went and got our badges for AnimalCon. And Friday was the Creators Day, which was really cool. So basically it was just VIPs and creators that could get in that day. And that was pretty awesome. Brian gave a really crazy opening speech that was really awesome. And then they had panels all day. And after 10 years checking on your channel, boom, you're alive. Yeah, it was very cool. The VIP day, there was only one room that had panels in it, and literally how it was kind of set up is there was a panel on the hour every hour, and it went for 45 minutes, and then there was like a 15-minute break. And then you could like walk around, see all the other vendors and stuff like that, what they had to sell, and you know, kind of go get a refreshment or whatever. But there was definitely a lot of very intelligent people in their own fields. Notice no ventilator mask. How you beat the allergy. It's only whenever I'm unpacking the mealworms that I have the allergy. So if you notice some kind of, well, you don't notice because it's, so I have this little spoon. And this spoon is what I actually scoop the mealworms out with, just like that. So depending on the size of the animal and how many animals are in the tub, basically it's either a full scoop or a half a scoop. And then I do the same thing with the vitamin powder. I just use it as a scooper, scoop it in, and then dust the worms. This is one of my breeder males. He's kind of lost a little bit of color, but he's still like an awesome male. He's going to be going to a new home soon. But he was one of my main breeders for this past year. And again, same thing that I've always been doing. I vacuum out the tub. And then take my paper towel and fold it twice. Put it in the tub. Spray it down. So it's like that. And then still the Gen Pack 2 styrofoam hide with the food dish on top. And then scoop of mealworms and a little bit of vitamin powder and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. I only have to do that about 1,000 more times. Well, not quite, because I did some of them yesterday. So, but anyway, back to AnimalCon. Like I said, very, very cool event. If you do watch any of these people on social media or follow any of these people on social media, it's definitely a good way to like go and actually meet them and hang out with them and talk with them. It's kind of interesting to see how some of the creators are in person compared to on camera. I'll get to that in 1 second. Just want to start by saying like everybody was like super, super nice. And you would think at something like that, like there would be a little bit more like egos in the room, because you know some of these people are pretty internet famous. But honestly, for the most part, there was like no egos whatsoever, which was kind of nice. kind of wasn't what I would have expected, honestly. Because I'm used to the reptile industry and there can be some egos. But for the most part, everybody checked their egos at the door, which was pretty awesome. So that was super cool. That was super cool. So, yeah, Friday was really cool. You know, like I said, it was just creators and VIPs that day. Then they had an after party, which was really cool too, where everybody got to, like, they basically supplied like dinner for us and gave us like a drink ticket, and then there was also a bar there, so a lot of people continued to drink after their one ticket was done. And it was just cool to hang out. Then a lot of people, like, after that, you know, went to the pool and like hung out by the pool or the bar that was right by the pool. So it was really awesome just to like hang out with a bunch of different creators and people and make friends and stuff like that. But if you guys have ever been to like a weekend reptile show, it was kind of like that in a way where a lot of people hung out pretty late. There was also some other people that went like field herping in Florida and stayed out a little bit late. But again, all very, very cool stuff. And you know, I'm sure that made a lot of bonds with people, the people that went out and went field herping and stuff like that as well. Yeah, there's definitely like two groups of people. Like, there's the group that kind of stayed by the pool and hung out and drank, and then the other people that went like looking for reptiles and stuff like that. Honestly, on Friday night, I went and hung out in the hot tub, actually. And then as I was in there, there was like, you know, 5 people. We're all standing around talking, you know, saying what we do and stuff like that. And then literally all of a sudden, before we knew it, there was probably 25 to 30 people in the hot tub, which was bonkers. There was so many people in the hot tub that literally the water was overflowing out of it. So yeah, there was that. But very, very good time. Here's a cool one. It's a reverse stripe raptor. Pretty awesome. So yeah, then Saturday was the day whenever everybody could get in. If you bought a ticket to it. So Saturday was a little bit different, where they had 5 panels going on all the time. So there was like 4 breakout rooms, is what they called them, and then there was the main stage. And the breakout rooms, you know, would all have panels in them, and it was kind of, they all had like different topics, and there's like fish people there, bird people there, like crocodilian people there, venomous people there, and it was just cool to like go pick whatever like topic you wanted to hear about. I think all of the topics are probably still up on the AnimalCon website, so it's animalconusa.com. So you can go check out what some of the topics were. But Saturday was pretty awesome again. Lots of, you know, good topics, good conversation. So that was also really cool. And then, so Saturday night was 2 after parties. So they had the after party like they did the night before, where it was like, you know, food, drinks, DJ, and that was from like 6 to 8, and then the after party was a pool party, where basically everybody got in the pool from like 8 o'clock until like I think 10 or so, like that. I got to show you this guy real quick. I'm like bouncing all over the place. Look at this thing. So this one has like crazy like lavender head, and it's like very, very yellow. It's almost like a, if I could get it to turn. See how like the head has a bunch of lavender and yellow on it? And then the body is a reverse stripe with very like white legs. Super cool. That one is. All right, so back to the, let me clean this one real quick. All right, so Saturday night. Who were some of the breeders you bought from when you first got serious in the hobby? Honestly, it was so long ago that most of them don't even exist anymore. Most of my original animals, though, came from my mentor, Alberto Catalini. And then there was just like little stuff that I added to it here and there. But that's, yeah, that's where most of my original stuff came from. So Saturday night. I was at the after party. And Brian Barczyk was there, and Peter was there, like everybody was there. We were there for about an hour, and my friend Peter was like, hey, Brian's gonna head back to his room. I'm gonna go with him and hang out. And I was like, well, he's the reason why I'm here, so I'm gonna go with you. So me, Peter, Peter's friend Steve-O, and Brian all went back to Brian's room. And got back there and just sat down, started talking like old times, and we got there at probably like 7:30 or so, I would say. We're just sitting there talking about old times, and around 10 o'clock, Peter was like, hey, bud, we're going to get out of here so you can get some rest. And literally, Brian just looked at us and was like, please don't go, just stay here for a little bit longer. And so of course we did. And Brian like kind of talked with us a little about like what was going on with him, and he told us that he just had blood work done recently, and that he was back, but the blood work didn't look good. And we were all gutted. And he kind of talked with us a little bit about what the next steps were, and how, if the blood work was correct and, the tumor have grown, that he would have to stop chemo and they would start clinical trials. And yeah, we hung out with them for a little bit longer, and probably till it was like 11:30 or so, and then finally, we kind of got out of there, and Peter and I both like broke down on the way to our rooms, and it was definitely, as Peter would say, a shit sandwich. That's for sure. And probably the hardest part was, knowing all this stuff and watching how Brian was all day Sunday with everybody, where like so positive and so like him. If you've never met Brian in person, he makes you feel whenever you're talking to him like you are the most important person in the room, no matter if you know him or not. And you get this feeling that most people can't give random people. And literally like me knowing what was really going on, and him kind of like being like, yeah, like it was so great for you to come, like, we'll see you soon, stuff like that. And you almost have to like, you knew that, like, he knew that this could be like the last time that he sees some of these people. And some of these people have been his friends for fucking ever. And, yeah, that was fucking hard to watch. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. And, yeah, like, like, don't even know what the fuck to say, man. Because anything I say right now, like, I'm just gonna cry even worse. But, he's been a brother to me for fucking 15 years. If not more. And, probably more. Like, it's been so long since we've been friends. He was one of the only people that, like, stayed by my side while, like, I was out of the industry. Like, Brian and I used to talk at least once a week. If not, like, more often. I mean, whenever I was going through my divorce and shit, like, he would call me every day. And whenever I was going through my hard times, like, he's a true friend. Like, there was one time that, whenever the business was failing, and, like, I didn't have a fucking money to my name whatsoever. Because at one point I was, like, leaking, like, $5,000 a month just to make ends meet. And that's really whenever, whenever shit, like, went south for the business and stuff like that, is whenever I couldn't afford to keep doing it. And I remember one time that, like, I'd only get to see my son here and there, like, so I'd split custody at the time. And my electric got turned off at my house because I was so late on the fucking payment. And I was talking to Brian about it. And he literally paid for my electric bill so I could have power for whenever my son was there. And it's just stuff like that that, like, the man's just got the biggest heart in the world. And he means so much to so many people. Like, I'm just glad that I'm one of the people that's, like, super close to him. And, it's one of those things that, like, he's one of my best friends ever. And I know I don't, like, talk about it a lot because, like, I'm not the type of person to try to use it as, like, clout like some people do. And that's probably why, like, I don't, like, say it a lot, but he's definitely my brother and means so much to me. And then the other hard part was watching my friend Peter had to leave AnimalCon around 3 and to catch his flight back to Australia. And he as he was saying goodbye to Brian, like, broke down, and Brian broke down, and it was really hard. Not just feeling bad for Peter, but, like, I also knew in the back of my mind that in a couple hours I would have to do the same fucking thing. Or I'd have to hug my friend. And I just hoped that it wouldn't be the last time I saw him. So, yeah, we went to, finished out the day at AnimalCon on Sunday, and then the after party was at Gatorland, and, went to Gatorland, hung out with everybody, and, at the end, whenever Brian was like, all right, well, I'm going to start saying bye to everybody, and, he's such a magnetic personality that everybody, wants a little bit of time with him, and, so it's hard to, we had to go find Savannah to say goodbye to her, and, we were walking through the park, and literally everybody wants to, stop and say hi, and which is amazing. But it takes a little while. But, Brian makes time for every single person. And that's just fucking amazing. So obviously it took us a little time to get out of Gatorland, because he was saying goodbye to everybody. And, I just stayed right there with him. I was going to walk him out to his car, because, I wanted to be one of the last people that, saw him before he got in the car. Plus, didn't want to make a big scene. So, we finally get out to the car, and, I gave him a big hug and told him I loved him, and that I'd see him again. And, yeah. The only good part was after I got in the car, I had this crazy feeling like it wasn't going to be the last time I saw him. So I'm just kind of holding out hope that I'm right and that he can beat this fucking thing, and that one of these clinical trials is the miracle that he fucking needs, because the reptile community needs him, and the influencer community and fucking the world. So yeah, it's a fucking shit sandwich. And then I talked to him yesterday. Today's Wednesday, by the way. I know it's live, but like people are watching this like later. So like yesterday I got the news about, like, I texted him, and or actually today's Thursday. I don't even know what freaking day it is. I talked to him on Tuesday after he had the scan and he didn't have the results. And then yesterday I reached out to him to see if he got the results back. And he did, and that's what he posted on Twitter, if you guys haven't seen. So basically the tumor did grow and it spread. So now we're just praying for a miracle. But if anybody can beat this fucking thing, it's him. Because he doesn't know how to fail. He's definitely not going to quit. So yeah. Sorry for getting a little bit emotional, but I definitely got to experience two different sides of AnimalCon. And definitely I recommend all you guys go into it next year. And hopefully we'll see Brian there again. But yeah. This year was definitely a roller coaster for sure. So, that being said, give your prayers to Brian. And, I know we're all behind him and supporting him in this. So, yeah. Sorry for getting a little emotional on you guys. So now, that is one of the reasons why I was like, I need to start doing more YouTube again, because Brian was the inspiration to do it in the first place. So it's about time that I start doing it again. So I'm going to start with some lives just to get my feet wet again, and then some shorts, and try to get the algorithm up, and then I'll start making some actual videos again. I think the lives are kind of cool though, because then I can interact with you guys and answer questions. So might be a lot of these. But yeah, I think I've been way long enough. It's time to do the damn thing again. But on a cooler note, like on Saturday, actually Sunday, after all this, don't be sorry, this is what makes us human, sending hugs, as I know personally how hard it is. Yeah, it is. It's fucking real hard. So Sunday, after knowing all this stuff, I actually asked Brian if I could jump on a couple panels, and I ended up doing 2 panels, and next year I'll be going as a creator. Just because, it was Brian's dream to do this AnimalCon thing, and I gotta help be one of the people that makes it continuously go on. So, and just hopefully he's going to be there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry for anybody that had to deal with fucking cancer. It definitely sucks. Here's a cool one. All right, you guys want to see some more leopard geckos as we clean? Feel free to ask me any questions as we go through here, because it's time to be part of the hobby again, for sure. Damn. Fuck. All right, let's see some of these comments real quick. Vacuum always catches me off guard. Yeah. Black Knight Jokers to lift the spirits. Yeah, I'll show you a couple. Yeah, thanks guys for all the support. Just kind of going through the questions here. All right, back to business. Oh, and also, if you guys didn't see the post that I just made on my stories, I'm actually going to be making a couple new albums on the Facebook page, just to see if it works or not. So the albums are literally going to be for geckos that are a little bit cheaper, which I might show you some of those as we go through and clean. That would be good, like pets for people. Because, you know, some of them aren't the prettiest. I mean, you could still use them as breeders because, like, the genetics are good and stuff like that. But I'm going to start selling some, like, cheaper ones. Just for those people that, you know, want a nice pet and healthy pet and stuff like that. Because I did produce quite a few animals this year just to have for like shows and stuff like that are in like a lower price point. And then if there's like, you know, people that are, you know, fans or whatever that, you know, want to get a gecko from me but don't want to spend like $1,000 like some of them are, they can get like a nice quality gecko from me. Can I, best feeders are definitely mealworms. After doing this for so long, like, I would never do crickets, honestly. Just because the amount of crickets that you'd have to go through, the smell, they would just be such a pain in the butt, especially on this large scale. And honestly, I feel that mealworms are actually healthier for leopard geckos than crickets. Plus with crickets, like, you could get like internal parasites and stuff like that, like pinworm. So am I doing this as a business or a hobby or both? Isn't that the million-dollar question? So that's a very interesting topic. And I guess the short answer is business. But to me, I love doing this so much that it almost still is a hobby. It's almost like it's almost like a hobby that I get paid to do, if that makes sense. Why the hell is my nose so itchy? It's because of this. There's cat hair all over the place. Anyway. Hobby jobby for the win. Yes, exactly. It's a hobby jobby. I was actually just talking about it with some friends the other day about, what would I feel comfortable in being if that vacuum the shirt, it would just get sucked right into the fucking vacuum. So it's weird because going to a place like AnimalCon, I don't feel like I'm an influencer. So it's weird. I never felt like I was an influencer. It's only recently when people started being like, oh, I used to watch you whenever I was younger, blah blah blah, you're the one who got me into this, blah blah blah. So it was never the original stuff was never done to make money off of it or get clout or anything like that. Hold on, you guys got to see this one because he's fucking cool. Come on. Look at how crazy that thing is. Fucking purple and orange. Super cool. Because what a lot of people don't know is that for most of the time that I was doing this, there wasn't even monetization for creators. So Brian even talks about it where he started in probably 2006, 2007, and I started in 2007. There wasn't even monetization on a larger scale till 2010, I think, is whenever you could start getting paid for your content. And back then it was basically this AdSense thing, right? So you actually had to be part of the program. You either had to have an agent that could get you in, or you had to basically have your own website so that they could tell that it was you, and then you would have to post this code on your website so that it was kind of hidden, so that they know that you were actually a live person instead of a bot. So there wasn't this you need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watched or whatever. It was a very different way of being monetized back then. So that's one of the reasons why I never got monetized, is because it was a lot harder to get monetized back then. Now it's much, much easier. Yeah, so it wasn't really ever an option for me to get monetized, and I wasn't monetized until much later. And actually right now, that's another thing why I'm doing these lives and stuff like that, is my like 3,000 hours watched in a year. Like, I don't even qualify right now. Whoa, look at that guy. Pretty freaking cool. So that's why I'm doing these lives and shorts and stuff like that, is to get the numbers up so that I can become monetized again. So that's where you guys come in and help, because the more you watch my content, the more hours, blah, 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 and then I can start to get monetized again. But like I said, it's not like I'm doing it to make money or anything like that. Like, honestly, like, you know, I wouldn't even consider myself an influencer, if that makes sense. And it's funny because, like, depending on, you know, what circle I'm in at the time, like, I don't even want to really be considered a leopard gecko breeder. I want to be considered, like, a herp person that, like, has experience with a lot of different stuff. Let's see if this guy will chill out. No. I'm not gonna stress him out. So yeah, long story short, like, that's what I was talking to a friend about, was like, you know, what box do I want to be in? Influencer or leopard gecko breeder, or just like, you know, a reptile enthusiast or hobbyist, or, you know, I have a business with it. Like, it's really weird. Yeah, I do have multiple species. Yeah, that's for sure. So, you know, so I'm passionate about a lot of different things. And then I also, you know, I'm a zookeeper on the side. So, like, there's not really a box that I can be put in, I guess, at this point. Yeah, so, but we're going to start posting on YouTube again and building the audience, and, you know, I think it could be good in a lot of ways. I don't really think there's a lot of great content out there right now, leopard gecko wise, so it might help to make leopard geckos cool again, guys. I possess the 10 rings of herpetology. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like, yeah, I'm definitely probably different than most people. It's always cool here in Indonesia. Thanks. Actually, I think, you know, some of, pretty sure I have quite a big following in Indonesia, which is kind of interesting. These guys are kind of cool, like banded clown project things. Or I should say Joker. That one's a little bit more jungled. And yes, Indonesia does have some of the coolest reptiles, I would agree. I can definitely have a really good appreciation for the Indonesian species. through some little ones. It's a really cool eclipse. Pretty awesome. Plop, plop. Oh. Let's make sure I didn't miss any comments here. All right. Actually, all right. So Greg asked, how close is the Joker project to becoming a line? All right. So my answer to that would probably be different than everybody else's answer. Hopefully that got it. Oh, damn. So, and actually this has been a topic of conversation between me and some friends as well. What constitutes a project versus a line versus a morph versus all that stuff. So, to me, G project, clown project, Joker project, they will always be projects. They will never be a line. Anyone that calls them a line, I would not agree with them. Anyone that calls any of them pure, I would not agree with them. Because they, basically to me, a project is something that is never totally refined. And honestly, I don't want to ever have them be refined. I want them to be in a constant state of development and changing. Because to me, that is the greatest thing about them, is the constant amount of change that can be happening. And, you know, like even like now me working with this Joker project, you know, there's so many different variations of it, and those variations are just going to get crossed into each other, and you know, some of them will stay a certain look, some of them will definitely be like crossed into other things. So to me, like, you know, that is like a project. A line to me is something that can have a consistent look always. It never really deviates. It stays what it is, kind of thing. So like lines of Tangerine, for instance, that have been worked on for years, that, you know, are consistent in their coloration and what they look like, and you could be like, oh, that is a blank Tangerine. Those are what I would consider lines. The bad part is a lot of times people will cross these said lines together and then call them only like one of those, if that makes sense. Like they might have originally crossed like an Albion and Electric or something like that, and then they'll call it like, or they'll outcross it to some other just generic Tangerine, and then just call it like one of the more exciting names, if you will. And that just like, that just kills it, honestly. So I hope that makes sense. to you guys. If someone bred a G project to a joker, would you consider that a joker or a? I'm guessing. To me, that's a cross. It's that simple. I mean, you could say that it's a Joker, Joker G Project cross, for sure. And literally, like, the only reason why I call it a project is just like a generic way of identifying, like, where it's coming from. Like, which is really funny because, like, you know, everybody's all like, oh, well, you know, a name gives it more clout. And to me, it's almost the opposite, where a name just tells you where it came from, honestly. Because even within my Joker project, you have like ones that are really, really fucking nice that are like, you know, A quality like Jokers, and then you have like the C, D, F quality Jokers. And the bad part is whenever somebody gets like a low end Joker, they buy it as a Joker project, which is still a Joker project animal, and then they outcross it to something else and just make these animals that just don't look like anything, and then the name sticks with them. So that's the only thing that I get a little bit weird about. Like, if they were to do that, I would say it's like a Joker cross. Just like there's Black Knight crosses and stuff like that. I mean, that's just how I look at everything. People can have their own opinions of, you know, what's a line, what's a project, what's a whatever. But that's just how I look at it. So basically, to me, like, anybody that says that they have a and new breeders always make combo. That went away too quick. And new breeders always make new combos to make it cool. Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those weird things where like sometimes like crossing two things together will make it look cool. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you got to wait for the second gen. So, you know, not all crosses are created equal. Yeah, and then exactly. There's some people that just cross two animals together and, you know, say that it's something new. And that's kind of where I don't want people to get it confused, where, like, you know, me thinking I'm somebody and just named the Joker project out of nowhere. To me, it is very different than the Clown project, even though it has, like, clown lineage in it. Like, almost all the all the animals in the Joker project have, you know, the like, not the Clown project male blood in them, whether that be like, you know, 50% or 12% or whatever it is. Like, there's still a lot of that bloodline in it. So it almost just kind of is one of those things where you can tell, like, what some of the lineage is, if that makes sense. And also, like, the pure clown thing, like, there's never been a pure clown. Like, I don't even call my stuff pure clowns, because it's always been a project. It's always been evolving. So it's always been, you know, that's just what it is. Like, you can't have a pure of something whenever it was a cross in the first place. No matter how many generations you put into it, in my opinion. Because that was one of the original points of the project, was people could take it in whatever direction they want. Because breeding it to certain females or certain males, like, the look changes. So that was the whole thing. Like, in a line where, like, the look stays exactly the same multi-generations, with a project, the look changes. So that's why I've always called them projects, because the look should change. I hope that makes sense, Greg. Did that make sense? Should I make a video about that? Like, what this is, the difference between lines and projects and all that stuff? Trying to, like, watch for comments here and work at the same time. Right, like Chris at Suburban said, he has 8 projects within the Fireball alone because they look different. Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, as long as you can kind of explain it, and I think people can understand it, if that makes sense. Like this guy right here. This guy is really fucking cool. Look at that stripe. Whoop. Woo, pretty. So that's from a clown project animal. And same with this. Whoop. She's pretty. All right, what else did everybody say here? Absolutely, dude. I love your answer demonstrating the passion and not the lust for a stamp on or branding. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the whole point. Like, trust me, I've done the naming stuff. Will we ever see a batch of fresh wild caughts again? I doubt it, just because from where they come from. Like Pakistan, Afghanistan region. Those are war-torn countries, so yeah. What are my geckos feeding on? Mealworms. Whee! Yeah, and like I said, Greg, like the Joker name in general just kind of signifies that it came from me, and it's really like a really fucking generic name, actually. It's weird how it can be so generic but so descriptive at the same time, if that makes sense. This one's kind of cool. Like really kind of weird. So many different colors in it. What is that from? Case 6. What size do you use for your tubs? Case 6. Huh. That one's even het bell, which is pretty awesome. All right, I did see a question pop up there. What hides do I use? So let's go through this real quick again. I use 6-quart iris tubs from the Container Store. Take a select a size paper towel, fold it twice, spray it with water, and put it on one side of the tub, like so. Then you take a Genpack 2 meat packing tray. You snip a little hole in the front of it to make it into a hide, and that goes on top of your moist paper towel. Then you have the food dish, which I use these. You can't buy these anymore because I'm that old in doing this. They stopped making these about 15 years ago, but they are glazed on the inside. They are basically the bottom of a flower pot, like their flower pot saucer. Put mealworms in there with the vitamin powder, and that's Vionate, 4 parts Vionate, 1 part calcium. And then that goes right on top of the hide, like so, just to kind of hold it in place. And then you put the babies back in. And then you rinse and repeat. For all of these. So it is definitely time consuming. Whenever I'm not talking and doing a live, I can usually knock out basically like 1 rack, which is 45 tubs every like half an hour-ish. So I basically work on the animals about 10 to 12 hours a week, I would say, is kind of the average. And what I do is I basically feed once a week, and then they will eat the mealworms for a few days. And then they will also have fasting days, which I believe is very, very important. I don't believe that they should have access to food constantly, because they'll get fat and grow too fast and have liver issues and other metabolic issues that you just don't want. And honestly, I feel like they grow faster with intermittent fasting. And they're just stronger and healthier, in my opinion. They don't need to be eating all day, every day, that's for sure. Because you also have to think in the wild, they don't have access to food like constantly. So. Actually, if you see pictures of wild-caught leopard geckos, they're actually much thinner than the ones that you would see in captivity. I'm sure there's different times of the year whenever, stuff is, whenever food is more plentiful and stuff, and that's probably, right before breeding season and stuff, so. But I don't really know what it's like over there. I've never been, and probably will never go. My only chance to go is whenever I was in the Army and we were at war with them. And I didn't go then, so I doubt I'm going now. Are you still buying geckos? Honestly, not really. If there's something that I really like, I'd probably buy it. But for the most part, I don't need to buy anything anymore. So it's kind of a closed collection in a way. But if I saw something that I really liked, I'd probably buy it. Because honestly, with the stuff that I started this iteration with, I can pretty much create everything, honestly. Not super into Max Snows anymore. I only have one Max Snow female, and probably will not have any more in my collection, honestly. I would rather work with like Gem Snows, Tug Snows, and Albie Snows, because there's no super. Because I don't really want to produce supers. Actually, I don't want to produce supers. I take that back. I think enough people produce those, so I don't need to produce them too. Plus, I like colorful stuff. And this kind of goes back to the whole, like, people asking, you know, what morph they should get into and stuff like that. And it's like, whatever you think is pretty. That's what you should get into. Get into animals that you will love looking at all the time. And people love Super Snow, more contrast, better high white collars. Nice. Yeah, I mean, there is enough different color variety in leopard geckos that you can work with whatever you want to. Look at this guy. This guy's pretty cool. He's pretty awesome. Where are we at? 78 minutes. Alright, I'm probably only going to go for a little bit longer. Maybe I'll hop back on a little bit later. Show you guys some more cool stuff. Because I'm kind of running out of millworms, and the millworms will be here a little bit later. So I might take a break from cleaning until they get here. And then I can feed and clean at the same time. Hey, what's up, man? Sorry you're a little late to the party. Just in time to see me stop, basically. But I am going to save this and keep it up for you guys, in case there was any tidbits of information that you wanted. Take some screenshots of me crying. Maybe you guys can make a meme out of me like Michael Jordan. This one's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. You're cleaning gecko tubs too? Yeah, aren't we all? Aren't we all? All right, guys. We are at 80 minutes, so I'm going to cut this short, and then I will definitely hang out with you guys a little bit later today. Maybe I'll actually, like, I'll probably put it on my Instagram story whenever I'm going live again, and then that way you guys can all hop on and we can all hang out again. So, hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.